'Cause you're just jealous and possessive, so manipulating, honestly impressive. You had me participating. Back then when I was running out of your place, I said I never wanna see your face. I meant I couldn't wait to see it again. We were toxic till the end. Cause even when I said it was over, you hurt. Baby, can you pull me in closer? You were plotting how to stay in my head. We were toxic till the end. I can't forgive you for a lot of things, for not giving me back my Tiffany rings. I'll never forgive you for one thing, my dear. You're wasting my prettiest years. Back then when I was running out of your place, I said I never wanna see your face. I meant I couldn't wait to see it again. We were toxic. 'Cause even when I said it was over, you hurt. Baby, can you pull me in closer? You were plotting how to stay in my head. We were toxic till the end. We were toxic till the end.
I know that this could hurt me bad. I know that this could feel like that, but I just can't stop. That my defenses drop. I know that I was born to kill any angel on my windowsill, but it's so dark inside. I throw the windows wide. I know, la 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 la. I know, la 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 la. Still I don't let go. I'm fields of flowers grow. Oh, it feels like I'm falling in love. Maybe for the first time. Baby, it's my mind. You blow, it feels like I'm falling in love. You're throwing me a lifeline. This is for a lifetime. I know that in this kind of scene of two people, there's a spark between. One gets torn apart, one gets a broken heart.
Once again, good morning, UNC Charlotte. Our convocation is about to begin. If you can please find your seats, head towards the front of the room. We'll be opening with a video in mere moments. Okay, stand up.
I'm falling in love. Maybe for the first time. Baby, it's on my mind. You blow. It feels like I'm falling in love. You're throwing me a lifeline.
UNC Charlotte, let's go ahead and settle down and direct your attention to the screens as we begin the convocation.
This was a remarkable year for Charlotte, and the numbers tell the story.
Go Niners. Put Niners in victory lane. I'm so proud of that.
This year, Charlotte reached a new level of national distinction, earning recognition for academic excellence, innovation, and the largest research award in university history. Research at Charlotte is not just advancing knowledge, it's moving industries forward.
The university just found out it has been picked to lead a research effort into solving one of the most pressing issues facing this country.
They objectively, independently have come to the conclusion that, yeah, you want to modernize the grid in the U.S., you got to do it right here.
The future demands new skills, and Charlotte is already teaching them. Strong leadership is helping shape Charlotte's next chapter, and a refreshed strategic plan will guide the university's priorities and ambitions over the next 5 years. More students chose Charlotte than ever before, and more graduated, ready to make an impact. Giving is fueling a university on the rise. The numbers are impressive, but they are not the full story. They are evidence of something bigger. A public research university delivering for students, for Charlotte, for North Carolina, and for the future. North Carolina is home to extraordinary public research universities, but only one powers its largest city. The difference is Charlotte.
Now, please welcome Chancellor Sharon Gaber to the stage.
Thank you, and good morning, Niner Nation. Welcome to University Convocation and the official start of the 26-27 academic year. I hope you had an opportunity this summer to unplug, have a little fun, enjoy some downtime, and hopefully we're all rested and energized for the new year. Somebody just asked me a minute ago if I was rested. I'm like, well, yeah, ready to go, okay. This is my 7th University Convocation, which seems incredible. I'm not sure, did we do one the first year, though? It's my 7th year. It is hard to believe, thank you. It remains one of my favorite events because it brings our faculty and staff together at the start of the year to celebrate what we've accomplished, to focus on what comes next, and to recommit our work and the students we serve. This year begins with a refreshed strategic plan and a clear goal for the next 5 years. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next few moments. Before I get too far into my comments, I want to acknowledge several leaders who will help guide the work of this university, in addition to all of you, this year. First, I want to start by recognizing the elected leaders of our student body, staff, and faculty. Please stand and give a wave when I call your name. Our Student Government Association president is not here today. In fact, she's in another meeting downstairs, Madison Brown. Madison is pursuing a dual degree in political science and criminal justice with a minor in journalism. This year's graduate and professional student government president is Caroline West. Would you stand and be recognized? Caroline is pursuing a PhD in bioinformatics and computational biology. Serving again this year as chair of the UNC Charlotte Staff Council is Jessica Waldman. Jessica is a graduate academic advisor in civil and environmental engineering. And our faculty council president is Deborah Smith. She is serving the second year of her 2-year term. Dr. Smith is an associate professor and associate chair in the Department of Africana Studies. Thank you all. We appreciate your leadership. Give them another round of applause. I also want to recognize our academic and administrative leaders. Our colleges and academic units are led by a great group of outstanding academic deans. I am going to ask them to stand collectively and be recognized. Thank you all very much for your leadership. And I am grateful to work with an exceptional senior leadership team. Would members of my cabinet please stand and be recognized? Thank you for all that you do. All right. So, UNC Charlotte enters the 26-27 academic year in a strong position. The opening impact report video captured many of the results from the year. You all know we completed our first full academic year as an R1 research university, expanded academic opportunities for our students, and we reached new milestones in student success. We also secured the largest research award in university history. Earlier this summer, I love to say these things because in case you haven't heard, we've just blasted it everywhere possible, but in case you haven't heard, earlier this summer, the National Science Foundation selected the NSF Grid Modernization Engine in the Carolinas, led by UNC Charlotte, as one of the nation's newest NSF regional innovation engines. The amount of the award we know will depend on our reaching performance milestones along the way. We have the potential to earn a total of up to $160 million over the next decade. And we are darn well going to shoot for that. We can tell you that. We are proud to be the lead institution on this award, which is obviously transformational for UNC Charlotte and our research enterprise. You'll hear a little more about this in a few minutes from the principal investigator, Vice Chancellor John Daniels. Another important accomplishment of the 25-26 academic year was the continued fundraising success of our For the Love of Charlotte campaign. So hopefully you remember, we are 2 years into the public phase of this campaign. We have already raised more than $427 million, and that does deserve a round of applause. And we do expect to reach the $500 million campaign goal well ahead of schedule. So one of the most important benefits of this success is the growth of our endowment, which is the university's long-term financial foundation position. A strong endowment helps attract and retain outstanding students, outstanding faculty, it supports research and academic excellence, and provides a reliable source of funding that is not dependent on tuition, grants, or state appropriations. And we might remember last year we didn't have that last part of it, right? Since there was not a state budget. That kind of financial flexibility can be especially beneficial in years like last one. When I arrived in Charlotte, our endowment balance was $226 million. So to give you a comparator, today it is $428 million, reflecting an increase of about 90%. So, see, I think that deserves a round of applause, okay? And again, this might be something you all don't think about. I think about this because it is, to put it in perspective, it is the ability to do things that we don't have the resources to do. It's the scholarships, it's the professorships, it's the extra things. To put it in perspective, an institution like Chapel Hill that's been around for more than 2 centuries has an endowment of roughly $6 billion with a B. So we certainly have plenty of room to grow, but we're moving in the right direction. Our endowment growth has been intentional. In the past decades, we often lived off of what we raised each year. We would bring in money and we would spend it. Today, we are being much more purposeful about building resources that can support scholarships, professorships, research, and other priorities into perpetuity. That is important because that is how we grow. That is how we have the resources to do the extra special things that we need to. Thus far, the For the Love of Charlotte campaign has provided funding for more than 1,600 new and existing programs, including more than 1,000 new scholarships, fellowships, and awards, 21 distinguished professorships or endowed chairs. That is great progress, and we know we can't let our foot off the gas pedal. There are challenges ahead and still lots of work to do, but we're excited about the progress that we're making. So as I say that, you all know higher education is more competitive than ever. We are doing great things, but in North Carolina alone, students can choose from 16 public universities, 36 private colleges and universities, 58 community colleges. Here in the Charlotte region, you might have noticed, but the competition is even more concentrated, and more than 20 institutions operating a main campus, satellite campus, or instructional site have continued to move into our region. That tells us something important. Charlotte is a market worth competing for. Other institutions see what we see. This is a growing, talent-driven city with enormous demand for education, research, and workforce partnerships. I don't want us to be defensive about that, but we need to be clear. UNC Charlotte is the public research university built for this city, serving this region at a scale that no one else can match. That is our advantage. It's what we say when we mean the difference is Charlotte, but we have to continuously and consistently prove it. That's why the timing of our refreshed strategic plan matters. We adopted a 10-year strategic plan in 2021 with a midpoint refresh built so we could adjust to changing conditions and opportunities. That proved to be a good idea. In several areas, we reached our goals ahead of schedule, including becoming an R1 research university. So this past spring, our Board of Trustees approved the refresh plan that will guide our work over the next 5 years. I know you all have gone out and read the plan. Okay, if you haven't, it's on the website, you can take a look, but the plan has 4 focus areas, which you'll see outlined on this slide. You're going to hear more from Provost Troyer and Vice Chancellor Daniels about the first 3. I want to focus on the 4th one that states that we'll expedite Charlotte's ascent to national distinction. This focus area speaks directly to the questions before us. How do we make sure UNC Charlotte matches, that its reputation matches its results? How do we claim our position as one of the nation's leading public research universities? And I'm going to say this, you all have heard people say we're the best kept secret. We've been saying this for years. We don't want to be the best kept secret. So go ahead and tell people about what we're doing. I was at a meeting earlier this week and somebody said, oh yeah, you're the best kept. I'm like, no, that's not what we're aiming for, okay? So drilling down on the fourth focus area, you'll find one especially ambitious goal. And it makes me nervous because obviously I'm held accountable for this. But we have put in there the goal to position UNC Charlotte among the top 50 public national universities by 2030. That is very ambitious. And it's going to take all of us, I know I'm held accountable, but it's going to take all of us working to get us there. Project 5030 is an effort to get there by strengthening the drivers of quality that matter most: student demand, student success, national reputation. We're not chasing a ranking for ranking's sake. Rankings aren't perfect, but they do measure things that matter. Whether students want to come here, whether they succeed when they are here, whether our programs are recognized, whether our research is visible, and whether people beyond our region understand the value of what UNC Charlotte delivers. So we know that for too long, our reputation has not matched our results. That's changing. One clear sign is the support that we're seeing from leaders across Charlotte. They understand that a major public research university in the state's largest city is a strategic asset, one that bolsters talent, research, economic growth, healthcare, education, entrepreneurship, culture, and civic life. When community leaders put their names, influence, and networks behind UNC Charlotte, they're sending a strong message. Charlotte needs this university to be nationally recognized for the value that it already delivers. But as we know, community support alone will not get us there. Project 5030 will succeed only if the work inside the university matches the ambition outside of it. To achieve this goal, we need to be laser focused on providing our students with a top-tier college experience centered around ensuring their success. We need to continue offering relevant academic programs that anticipate where our region and our economy are growing, and we need to continue to generate cutting-edge research that responds to real-world challenges. One important example of that work is how UNC Charlotte is responding to the rapidly changing energy needs of our region and our nation. If you haven't heard this, I keep thinking I say something and you're like, yeah, I already know this. But if you haven't heard this, today I'm pleased to announce the establishment of a School of Energy at UNC Charlotte. That was... That was approved by our Board of Trustees last week. The new school is housed in the William States Lee College of Engineering. It will bring together expertise from across the university to prepare the workforce and develop the technologies needed to modernize the nation's electric grid. And I do want to say across the campus. It is in engineering, but things like energy economics, energy policy. It brings together elements from across campus. Under the leadership of founding director Dr. Robert Cox, the School of Energy builds on strengths UNC Charlotte has developed over many years. Since 2008, our Energy Production and Infrastructure Center, better known as EPIC, has connected faculty, students, and industry leaders to address some of the energy sector's most important challenges. EPIC will now serve as the interdisciplinary research arm of the new school. Combined with our leadership of the NSF Grid Modernization Engine in the Carolinas and our location in Charlotte, one of the nation's leading energy centers, these strengths position UNC Charlotte to educate the next generation of energy professionals, advance research with real-world applications, and help shape the future of an industry that's critical to our region and our country. You'll hear more about the School of Energy in the months ahead, but today's announcement is an important example of what our strategic plan calls on us to do. Anticipate emerging needs, build on our distinctive strengths, and create programs that raise UNC Charlotte's national profile. Everyone in this room has a role in that, and the successful achievement of Project 5030 will not be accomplished by one office, one department, one campaign, or one external champion. It will be achieved through thousands of daily decisions that make UNC Charlotte easier to choose, harder to leave, and impossible to overlook. This year, I'm asking each of you to think about your role in Project 5030. How can your work help students stay on track? How can your office make the university easier to navigate? How can your college strengthen programs that meet real demand? And how can your research, teaching, service, or partnerships make Charlotte's value more visible? We have the people, we have the plan, and we have the results to build on. Now we have to execute. So, speaking of that, next month, UNC Charlotte will celebrate its 80th birthday. That is a great time to remember what this university was created to do. In 1946, we were established to meet the educational needs of this city and the region. 80 years later, that mission is larger, more visible, and more important than ever. As we begin a new academic year, let's make it a great one. Go Niners. Now, to move on with the rest of this morning's program, our strategic plan gives us a roadmap for where we're headed. Our university is defined by its people, our culture, our energy, and what makes this place truly great. So to test just how well we know our own campus, we're going to pause a moment to play a little game. I think we were looking to spice it up, so here we are, okay? I am told you should think Family Feud, but with a Charlotte twist. To kick off our very first round of Niner Survey Says, please help me welcome Vice Chancellor Kevin Bailey and Vice Chancellor Rich Amon to the floor. Yay.
Microphone.
Am I on? I'm on now. Okay, there we go. Welcome, everyone, to Niners Survey Says. We asked our campus community to weigh in on some burning questions today, and we're putting your instincts to the test. Let's jump right into it. What makes Charlotte different? We're coming here to contestant number 1. Would you please stand? Get ready, y'all. There are 2 of us in 3 rounds. Tell us your name, where you work.
I'm Barbara Knight. I'm in the Bell College of Business.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. Barbara, tell us, what makes Charlotte different?
The growth, the potential.
The growth and the potential. Survey says? Thank you, Barbara.
Okay, over on this side, who wants to be contestant number 2? Who's excited? Cynthia, will you be our... All right, so the survey is, what makes Charlotte different?
We're an urban research institution.
Urban research institution. What does the survey say? Okay. Hey, good. Close enough. Oh.
That is not cool.
I think that was a good answer. Good answer. Good answer. Bad survey. Good answer.
Okay, so we are here Hello. Name where you work?
I am Janine Humphrey, and I work for the Digital Professional Learning. Yay!
Okay. Your answer, what makes Charlotte different?
You just showed the question. It was innovation and growth. Well, no, it was,
There are multiple answers.
what makes
There's not just one. There are multiple things.
I'm going to go with my answer. I'm going to say its ability to reinvent itself over and over again, being such a young institution in comparison to the rest of the state. We are constantly growing.
I'll go with ability to innovate. Survey says? There we go. There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for playing round one of our game.
Please welcome Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Jennifer Troyer.
That's a hard act to follow. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am so glad to be here with all of you to officially kick off the new academic year. Each fall, I am reminded of what makes UNC Charlotte such a special place. And for me, it's our commitments to transforming student lives, to creating new knowledge that matters, and to making a difference in the Charlotte region and beyond. And those shared commitments come to life through the work of the people in this room and our colleagues across this campus. As faculty and staff, each of us contributes to building a campus where our students feel supported and have what they need to thrive. Whether we're inside the classroom or online, whether we're advising students, conducting research, or supporting the day-to-day operations, our collective efforts empower students to become versatile thinkers and thoughtful leaders and engaged citizens. So speaking of students, once again, here they come. Our updated strategic plan sets a target of 35,000 students by 2031, with about 20% of those students at the graduate level and over 15% of our students in online programs. So our momentum, the momentum that we share with the Charlotte region, is pushing us closer to that number. Despite the challenges that we have with international enrollment, this year we are on track to welcome more students than we did last year, up from a record high last year of 32,207. We are expecting about 5,100 first-time in college students, nearly 3,000 transfer students, and over 2,000 graduate students. So to serve these students and deliver on our commitment to meet the needs of our region, we are adding 6 new or expanded fully online programs this fall to better serve working adults. So these include a BA in computer science, a BA in criminal justice, a BS in economics, a BA in special education, a BA in early childhood education and intervention, and an MA in Spanish, and several graduate certificates as well. We are also starting some in-person programs, so a Bachelor of Science in Construction Engineering and several new programs in AI that I'll outline in just a moment. We are also pleased to grow our faculty ranks, welcoming 100 new faculty members this academic year. So how many of you are new to UNC Charlotte in the past year? Could you raise your hand? So please join me in welcoming all our new faculty and staff. So all of you new folks are an essential part of our community and the work that we have ahead. I also want to recognize and congratulate the faculty members who were tenured or promoted. You also had on the chairs a list, so you can grab one of those if you didn't get one. We are really proud of your accomplishments, and I look forward to celebrating with you in September. So as the Chancellor just outlined, our refreshed strategic plan provides some clear direction for the next 5 years. She focused on Charlotte's ascent to national distinction, and the remaining 3 strategic plan pillars are important guides to the work that will happen in academic affairs and with our partners in divisions from across the university. Our 3 strategic plan priorities are not surprises. They align with what we value most: student success, research excellence, and expanding opportunity. And doing all of that in the context of a community where what we do locally matters globally. So those areas are transforming students' lives through educational opportunity and excellence, powering the future through research in all its forms, and driving progress for Charlotte and beyond. So this morning, John Daniels is going to focus on the second strategic plan priority, and I'll talk about the 3 key initiatives that will get extra attention this year from academic affairs that relate to the other 2. But please note, there are many facets to the work in the updated strategic plan. I'd also encourage you to search it up. My daughter taught me that. Search it up. I know that each of you can find yourself and your work reflected in this new update. So as we begin the new year, I want to highlight 3 key initiatives that I said, again, will get special attention from academic affairs as we proceed. Delivering on the Charlotte model for student success, growing our graduate student population and supporting their success, and successfully navigating artificial intelligence. So importantly, all of these priorities, again, involve many individuals from outside of academic affairs, and they are all important to the future of our university and our trajectory. So the first initiative I want to highlight is delivering on the Charlotte model for student success. So before I go any further, let me ask a question. How many of you have heard of the Charlotte model for student success? Could you raise your hand? Oh, that is more than last year. Wonderful, wonderful. So let me remind you, and especially if you're new, the Charlotte model is the comprehensive and intentional way that we support students throughout their journey with us, from first contact through graduation and then into their life after graduation and their careers. So student success, whether it is at the undergraduate or graduate level, is a cornerstone of our mission. The Charlotte model is about how we work together to help students succeed. It includes excellence in the classroom, innovative academic programs, professional advising for our undergraduates, peer mentoring, financial literacy, and experiential learning. And it's about asking questions about what our students need now, at this point in time, in this place, and given the challenges they face now and in the future. So I have a few examples to share. Last year, we did a deep dive into data on our first-time in college students who arrive with 30 or more college credits already completed. So you'll remember, an undergraduate degree is 120 hours. So a freshman with 30 or more college credits is not really a freshman. So let me see a show of hands. How common do you think this is? So how many of you think it's at least 5% of our first-time in college students? Okay. How many of you think it's at least 10%? At least 20%? Okay, so in fall 2025, they represented 26% of our incoming students, and that's up from 16% just 5 years ago, and we anticipate that this will continue to grow. So their needs, their experiences, and their pathways are different from traditional first-year students. And this year, we'll be working across divisions to better understand and support them on their journey on multiple fronts. So closely tied to the Charlotte model, with the new state budget, we'll be adding more faculty to support growing academic programs, and just as importantly, to continue to strengthen our research enterprise. We are also adding more professional academic advisors to support the growth of our undergraduate population. I mentioned earlier several of our new online programs that are launching this fall. Online programs continue to be one of Charlotte's greatest areas of growth. Over the past 5 years, online programs have accounted for roughly half of the university's total enrollment growth. And with recent program additions and more on the horizon, we're meeting these working adult learners where they are and supporting them in pursuing their dream of earning a degree. We also have set a goal of growing our honors population to 10% of all undergraduates by 2030. Yeah. So we are currently around 3%. So that growth aligns with providing more opportunities for prospective and current students who are strong academically. That growth will be driven by some investments in program support for university honors programs in the disciplines, and honors adjacent activities like undergraduate research. Really excited about that. In sum, the Charlotte model for student success requires us to understand who our students are, anticipate their needs, and intentionally build pathways that help them succeed. So the second initiative that I'd like you to learn a little bit more about today, I'd like to highlight, is growing our graduate student population and supporting their success. As I mentioned earlier, our strategic plan sets an ambitious goal for graduate enrollment. Reaching that goal will require us not only to attract outstanding graduate students, but to cultivate an environment where they can thrive. This year, we're taking several important steps to support graduate student success. So first, we have increased all doctoral stipends to the national median using benchmarking data from the Graduate Assistant Stipend Survey from Oklahoma State University. That's good news, right? And we'll continue to do that as we have funding available. Second, thanks to an acquisition of an apartment complex that's adjacent to campus, we now have housing on campus for graduate students in Niner Woods. Third, several of our programs are shifting course modalities and updating their programs to better serve working professionals. So competition for graduate students is becoming more fierce. Driving progress for Charlotte and beyond requires us to have a mix of programs that are relevant to this region, to North Carolina, and to far beyond, and to focus on the knowledge and skills that will result in our graduate success. So each graduate program is unique, and each graduate program must lean into what makes it special, while we will also provide university-level support for the success of all graduate students. For example, what makes the Master of Social Work program unique? So part of their story is the way that our Master of Social Work program leverages the Charlotte region for learning that happens in the field. They also cultivate a supportive learning environment for their graduate students. I know this because I had the pleasure of hearing from one of our spring commencement speakers, Christina Olmstead, who earned her Master of Social Work this past May. Let me tell you a little bit about Christina. So during the pandemic, she was a single mother living with her mother and her sons. She had a bachelor's degree already from a university outside of North Carolina. And as she thought about her future, she felt really drawn to pursuing a career that focused on improving the lives of others. So she earned some certificates at Central Piedmont Community College before being accepted into our Master of Social Work program here at UNC Charlotte. After she was admitted, though, she almost dropped out before taking her first course. As a soon-to-be non-traditional student balancing full-time work and raising children and graduate school, she was really worried about whether she'd be accepted by her peers and whether she'd be successful in the program. So fortunately, her mentor from Central Piedmont encouraged her to persevere even in the face of that fear. And what she found when she started the Master of Social Work program was a supportive cohort that encouraged her every step of the way. So our Master of Social Work program gave her the knowledge and the skills and the hands-on experience to make a difference in her community. She went from graduating to becoming the executive director of a nonprofit serving our region. So this story tells us a little something about the strengths of the Master of Social Work program, but what also strikes me about Christina's story is her message about the importance of taking on challenges collectively. She credits her success to the faculty and the mentors and the classmates who believed in her and supported her along the way. And Christina's story is exactly what we hope every graduate student experiences at UNC Charlotte. Rigorous academic preparation, a strong sense of community, and a clear path to making an impact. The third initiative I want to highlight is our continued work to deeply understand and be responsive to how artificial intelligence is changing our world. So driving progress for the Charlotte region means understanding and responding to rapid technological change. The pace of change in higher education in Charlotte and in our world writ large has accelerated. But few developments are changing higher education, research, and the workforce more quickly than AI. Our responsibility isn't simply to react to these changes, it is to lead thoughtfully, ethically, and intentionally so our students, our faculty, and our community are prepared for what's next. We've spent the past several years as an institution laying the foundation for this work. We've established an AI task force on teaching and learning. We launched an AI accelerator that crosses our university's divisions. We've developed university-level guidance around AI, and we've launched the AI Institute to support many of the pockets of AI research happening across our campus. We've expanded faculty engagement and learning and sharing how they are using AI in teaching and learning, and we have embedded AI into curricula across the colleges. So over the past 3 years, thousands of faculty and staff have engaged with AI-focused professional development and showcased their research and innovation in and out of the classroom. But fall 2026 really represents an inflection point for us. Just 2 years ago, we had one program with AI in its title. We now have 11 that carry AI or artificial intelligence directly in the title. So that spans some full degrees, some minors, some concentrations, and graduate certificates, with 9 new programs launching this fall, including concentrations in human-centered AI and AI-assisted software engineering, and a BS and MS in artificial intelligence. So beyond those programs, we now have 117 courses across 26 disciplines and 6 colleges that name AI in the course title or description. And compared with last fall, students are going to have 50% more options where there's an explicit commitment to addressing AI. So we're expanding our work with our students in AI because it matters. Let me give you one statistic from a fascinating survey of our students. So in 2024, 2 years ago, 2024, 48% of our students said they did not use AI tools at all outside of coursework or in completing courses. It was about the same for both. Just 2 years later, that never use AI group dropped to only 14%. So they are using these tools. But students are really looking to us to understand the evolving impact of AI on the value of their degrees, on their fields of study, and what they're learning. They want to understand how AI impacts how one conducts research, and they want to understand what living with AI might look like and mean for their futures. So that's a tall order, but in the classroom and with our research, our faculty and staff are leading and growing our knowledge base with respect to AI and passing that knowledge along to our students, passing that knowledge along to our partners in the Charlotte region, and passing that knowledge around to other researchers in our disciplines across the world. So we need to continue to evolve our courses, our programs as technology evolves. This includes sharing ideas across disciplines. It includes expanding new work with colleges and continuing to invest in faculty and staff and their development. And it means engaging in research that shapes the future of AI. And it means ensuring that our graduates understand not only how to use AI, but how to think critically about it, apply it responsibly, and lead in a world shaped by it. So in conclusion, as we look ahead to the new academic year, we have some really important work ahead of us. There will be more successes to celebrate, and there are always challenges to navigate. But when those challenges arise, we'll do what we always do. We will work together to meet them. So I just want to say I'm grateful for the role each of you plays in advancing our mission and moving this university forward. Thank you. So now I'm going to hand the floor back over to Vice Chancellors Bailey and Rich for round 2 of Niner Survey Says.
Okay, we're back with round 2 of Niner Survey Says. So this next topic is near and dear to my heart. It's my stomach. So this survey is, Where is the best place to eat on campus? Who has the best answer? Bailey, do you want to start this?
I'm happy to start this. I am here with our first foodie. Would you please stand? Tell us who you are and where you work.
My name is Kevin Bailey. Joel Gallegos, Charlotte Global.
Joel, where's the best place to eat on campus?
South Village.
South Village. Survey says Toby. There you go. Great answer.
All right. How about on this side? Who's going to help us out here? Contestant number 2. All right. Where's the best place to eat on campus? And you want to tell us?
Leslie Zink, Academic Affairs, Best Cup of Coffee, Thoughtful Cup.
Thoughtful Cup. Okay. Oh. This was sponsored by Starbucks.
Last call for round 2. Please, would you stand and tell us who you are and where you work?
Garvey Pike, Center for Teaching and Learning.
What is the best place to eat on campus, Garvey?
Sack lunch at my desk.
Sack lunch at his desk. Survey says my desk. Awesome. Excellent job. Let's reveal the top 6 dining spots on campus. There we go.
Please welcome Vice Chancellor of Research, John Daniels.
Okay. Am I mic'd up yet? I am. So, what a great time of the year, huh? I always love this time, and for those of you who have got college students in your house, maybe you can appreciate this, but last night I moved my son in here on campus. And it's great because my back still works, so I can move my daughter in some other campus tomorrow. But hey, but it is exciting and the enthusiasm. And of course, for most everyone in this room, work goes on continuously, right? I mean, it's not the sort of thing that stops, but there's this new push, this new energy that the students bring, and I'm just thrilled to leech from that. So having built that up, I will tell you, just to give you a preface with this presentation, a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement, love it. I'm going to kill the vibe for like 60 seconds. So bear with me. I promise you, if you can bear with me for 60, maybe 90 seconds, we're going to land in a spot that you're going to like. You're going to like where we land in terms of the words, hopefully the tone, and definitely the actions. So bear with me as we paint a picture of research and how it looks on this campus, and I promise you it lands in a good spot. But it didn't start there, okay? It didn't start there. As you can imagine, I had fun with AI on putting some of this together. And so, look, the current federal landscape is still dubious at best. And just think for a moment about research at UNC Charlotte or virtually any university in this country. Approximately 90% of our external awards are from the federal government. So, hypothetically, if there are challenges with reduced budgets, if you're firing agency personnel, if you're changing OMB guidance, if you're threatening the removal of the funds required to pay for the facilities in which our research is conducted, and much more, that has a commensurate impact on our research enterprise. So it's challenging. And so just give you one quick example. Almost 20 years ago, I worked at the National Science Foundation. And one of the divisions, the division I was in, had approximately 30 employees. And that's been stable for decades. I talked to one of the more recent division directors in Washington just a couple of months ago, and he pointed out there's only 4 or 5 currently in that particular division. So going from 30 in a given division down to 5. And so you can imagine what that does in terms of having panels, making decisions, making awards, all that kind of stuff. And so in terms of awards, what I'm showing you is just one graph. We could show it for virtually any agency, but you're looking at a graph, and on the y-axis you see a number at 11,000. Those are the number of awards that have been distributed. And then on the x-axis, you see from October through September. That's the federal fiscal year. And you're looking at how many awards are distributed through that year, and you're comparing different fiscal years. So a lot of those lines near the top are sort of like 2024 and earlier. And then you see 2025 drops below, and 2026 really drops below. And you see that dashed line, that's about where we are today. And so without making you squint and pull out your glasses or binoculars, I'll just tell you that where we are today in FY 2026 compared to where we were, say, 2024 is about half. So about half the awards have been pushed out the door from NSF compared to just 2 years ago. And why is that? Well, I told you the division I was in has 4 or 5 employees, program directors, instead of 30. So it has an impact. But fear not. Fear not. This is where, that was the low point. We're going to try to see if we can resurrect this and build it back up. Look, there are future opportunities that are durable beyond any sort of winds that change in Washington. And the good news is this place is built for these things which are durable and have bipartisan support. So you think about historically our efficacy with use-inspired research. You think about some of the themes that the federal government is really pushing. We have that expertise. Some of those ought to look familiar. We've heard a lot about energy this morning. AI, certainly in the defense space, life sciences. I was talking to Christine Richardson earlier today. That ought to be get her attention. There's a lot of opportunity in these spaces, and we're ready, purpose-built to deliver on a lot of those things. Certainly the emphasis on innovation and commercialization is there, and partnerships and interdisciplinary work. All of these things we do exceptionally well, and we are poised to be successful. So it also helps that we do have bipartisan support for the research agenda. That might sometimes be lost on folks, but just a couple of weeks ago I was in Washington, and I got to hear directly from Jeanne Shaheen from New Hampshire, prominent Democrat, as well as Todd Young, a prominent Republican, both senators, both ardent supporters for the research mission, all of it. And it's just gratifying to hear this, to know this, and so it gives us confidence that we have the political will to support the research enterprise. And we're seeing that with more and more of the solicitations that are being released slowly but surely. And we have the momentum. The Chancellor and the Provost have pointed out our R1 designation. It's hard to believe it's been a whole year as an R1 institution. It's so important for each one of us to update our muscle memory of what that really means. This institution has always been a fantastic institution. It's always been one that's committed to student success. And now we can compete with any institution in the country and internationally. And we have to remind ourselves that when we're serving on panels, when we're publishing our papers, when we're writing our proposals, we are now competing at that level. You know, it's helpful when you have a sort of an experience that crystallizes this. And I'll tell you, about a month ago, we had a team of international delegates from EDPNC. They were trade representatives from different countries at EDPNC, Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina. It's like the organization that really tries to get more companies to come to North Carolina. So they're here at UNC Charlotte, right? Because there's a direct connection between the university and economic development. And we're taking a tour. We're taking a tour of our bioinformatics facilities. So we're there with Adam Reitzel, the Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Education in the Klein College of Science. And we're going through the various labs, and you know, the folks are nodding politely and asking polite questions, and we wander into a lab directed by Dr. Morgan Carter. And we're in her lab, and it's bustling with activity, okay? I mean, you've got the grad students, you got the postdocs, you got the beakers. I mean, this was like, you know, lights, camera, action, active lab on full display, and they loved it, right? And so most of the questions were, oh, what about this? And okay, the fungi, and what does that do to this sort of crop? And how do we do this? And how do you scale that? And then, you know, there's always one in a group, there's probably a few in this room, that ask a candid, direct question, right? And so you have Dr. Carter, she's patiently explaining the principles of what she does and its impact. And then this question is like, well, can you tell us about the quality or how does this rank? You know, again, remember, this is a trade delegation. They've been in other parts of North Carolina, other parts of the world. They're trying to gauge us. Yeah, it looks like a busy lab. Yeah, they look like they've got experiments here, but how do you know? How do you know it's top tier? Well, listen, there are lots of indicators of that, okay? But it was very helpful And I was happy to say, along with Adam, it was happy that we were both able to recognize that Dr. Morgan Carter, in addition to being a fabulous researcher, is also the most recent recipient of an NSF Career Award. And that deserves a round of applause, by the way. Very few of these things are funded, right? So when I was there, I could fund 1 out of 20. And so it's helpful to have an indication of quality, and indeed she's one of the best. So that's the headline buried in the middle of this set of slides here. But we've got so much other work that's going on. Genesis Mission, a favored Department of Energy program, where we have 2 awards going forward there, and much, much more. So research momentum continues. A big part of this is our centers. You heard about everything we're doing in AI, that AI Institute, which pools together the expertise we have across this campus. That's how we're able to compete successfully. Individual investigators are fantastic, but when you coalesce and partner together, we can be so much stronger. Doing that in the AI Institute with Stephanie Shuckers and George Banks, and then also our NDI-3, our National Defense and Intelligence Innovation Institute, clearly making great inroads, and folks are taking notice across the country. Charlotte Air, under Dr. Tara Cavallini, her leadership recognized by the FAA and the Charlotte Douglas Airport. What's fascinating there is the airport is essentially a microcosm of a city. And so any research question you can think of, you can deploy and test it at the airport, and we have that ability. We have that relationship that doesn't exist with any other major city, any other major airport, any other major university. We have it. If you're interested, talk to Dr. Cavallini. And one of the fascinating things is our work with this, there's only one runway being built in America. And that one runway is in Charlotte, and it's the only runway that's going to be instrumented real time, so you can have a digital replica of that runway that's informed by actual sensors in that runway. And so we're able to project its performance for safety and everything else. All of that is under the leadership of Dr. Cavallini, and that's just one of the things we're doing there. There's so much more. Okay, the engines, okay? So all these things are important. The engines is fantastic, and it's fantastic for everyone in this room. It's fantastic for all of our students because it shines a light on what we do best in terms of partnerships, but it also shines a light on every other success that we're able to do. You have to break through the noise, and that's one of the benefits of this grant. And so this is up to $160 million for research, for commercialization, for workforce development. You're building an innovation ecosystem. This is not just a project. This is the closest thing to how you build, and this is not just my words, it's NSF's words. How do you think about what makes Silicon Valley, or Boston, Kendall Square, what those places are? And you have these unique ecosystems where you have government, industry, academia, entrepreneurs, and venture capital all flowing at such a pace and with such ferocity that more companies want to be there, more faculty want to be there, more people want to move there, and that's how you improve the economy, that's how you elevate the attractiveness of a region. And we're doing it in the grid and focused on the grid. This School of Energy is going to be fantastic for that. So that's what really makes this groundbreaking. And if you think about the federal government, I started this talk with what has the federal government done and what does the current landscape look like? Well, this is the largest investment in place-based innovation since the Land Grant Act 200 years ago. So if you think about all the land grant universities that are out there, that was place-based innovation. Every state gets a university. This is looking at it through the modern lens of where are the regions that have the right to win, who are the most competitive. And so for power, for energy, for the grid, it's right here. And we're doing that. So it's helpful. Now, you see our founding director for our School of Energy there, Rob Cox, and myself with the director of NSF. But the point of that is our opportunity to be visible, and it took almost everyone in this room to make that happen. The chancellor, her cabinet, it took the faculty, it took staff, it took the division of research, so many people over so many hours, weeks, months, and years to get to this point. So it's a big thank you to everyone in this room for us to get to this point, and it's helpful to have our senators and members of the House of Representatives supporting this. Yes, we absolutely needed their support to bring this across the goal line as well. So, as I put us on a trajectory to close out my comments, those are just some highlights of some of the things we're doing. The state of our research is strong, and the clear signals for momentum are there. We have 67 faculty that have over $1 million or more under active management. And you can see the strength of our expenditures and our overall award portfolio. Patents continue to grow. We have to build for the future. I mentioned trying to be the Silicon Valley for the grid, and we can do that. Part of that is also having unique facilities that are attractive. So if you think about the North Tryon Tech Hub, we already have this fabulous DuBois Center, success with CoLab. You might not be aware that we're building out a cybersecurity, digital engineering, and simulation lab. We really got to get a better name for that. Working on that. My first run with ChatGPT and Claude didn't yield too many great results, but that's a humble structure, and I don't want folks to think that that's the sum total of our ambition. Our ambition is a future facility of a scale and size more like DuBois, which does all of these things, has the unique facilities, but also supports the innovation and the partnership to truly make this a tech hub that we all deserve. So closing themes, we've had multiple references to the strategic plan. That's our guide. That has guided a lot of what you've seen, some of the headlines. And going forward, it certainly takes a look at what we're doing on the inside as well as what we're doing on the outside. I just highlight one. We've got a number of internal organizations within the Division of Research, and happy to talk about that during the Q&A. One of them is revisiting how we operate internally with our research administrations, and thrilled with Sarah Saxton, our Assistant Vice Chancellor for Research Administration, is doing a phenomenal job there, and you'll hear more about her about what she's doing during the Q&A. Finally, now this is like the punchline, by the way, so get ready in your seats here. F&A is the lifeblood of the research enterprise. I mean, it's like, yes, we need Dr. Morgan Carter, her brains, her students, her beakers, we need that. And she needs a lab. And we need to track the accounting, all that stuff. And so F&A is vital. And I'm happy to announce that although there are risks, and I'm telling you, AI and their generation of what the federal landscape looks like, it was like a lot of dark storm clouds. That's all true. And yet, we're going to make a bet on our faculty. We're going to make a bet on this college, and we're going to turn the taps back on, and the F&A is coming back to faculty, departments, and colleges. We're doing it. We're going back, turning the taps back on, and we know it's going to result in great things for this. So look, thanks for all you do. Grateful for this. And now I think we go back to some exciting Survey Says, if I'm not mistaken, right? Do I got that right? Let's do some Survey Says.
We are on our third and final round of Niners Survey Says.
Okay, so the final question is, name something that tells you that the academic year has officially begun at UNC Charlotte.
Please tell us your name, where you work.
My name's Asher Haynes. I work for Digital and Professional Learning.
Name something that tells you the academic year has officially begun.
Kevin Bailey gets all up in my business.
Kevin Bailey gets all up in Asher's grill. Survey Says.
All right, we have an answer right here. You want to give us your name?
Yes, Lori Thomas, UNC Charlotte Urban Institute. Traffic and parking.
Yep. Number one, dare we say?
Tell us your name, where you work.
Adam Wassell, University Development.
Name something that tells you the academic year has officially begun.
I wore a suit twice this week.
Change of wardrobe. Survey Says.
All right, let's see all the answers. Students everywhere. And convocation. All right. Thanks everyone for participating. We'll kick it back to Chancellor Gaber to finish us out.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer, John, and sort of Rich and Bailey. Thank you. Okay. And I want to thank all of you for being here to help us usher in a new year. As you can see, there are some incredible things happening in Niner Nation, and there are things we need our collective help to work on, so appreciate everybody's efforts. Please be on the lookout in the coming weeks for details about our 80th birthday celebration that will occur, I believe, in September, and about this year's Niner Nation Week, you can see on the screen, that will take place September 27th to October 4th. You'll hear more about that. In a moment, we will take a short break, and our team will reset the room for the first faculty meeting of the 26-27 academic year. Everybody is welcome to attend. Glad you all are here. Look forward to working with each of you to achieve great things this year. Thank you. Have a wonderful semester, and go Niners.